about how we might be able to help them achieve as many of their goals as possible.
True, but also they need to acknowledge their limitations and not go beyond it. Because I can tell you, as somebody with disabilities, when I try to exceed my limitations, that's when I have the most problems and my conditions acting up.
Okay, so
So they need to identify their limitations and stick within them, but they need to, like you said, pursue the most that they can while staying within those.
if they pursue what they can choose to do, they are going beyond their limitations. However, they know that there is something going on inside of them that is not quite.
Well, not necessarily. Like, think of this. So I provide my writing and business consulting services, but I'm limited to only able to work so many hours per week. Or if I work more than that, then I end up having my PTSD and autistic and other episodes.
Okay, but that is a personal thing. That has nothing to do with your employability.
Load low, but I'm also still achieving what's my maximum capacity.
There you go.
So that's what I'm saying. It's a combination of finding their talent and what they can do, but at the same time, acknowledging their limitations to stay within that comfort circle so they don't get too much stress or whatever that they're sensitive to, in other words, induce themselves to have whatever kind of episodes based on what's their disability, to stay within where they can function, but to still be pursuing their talent.
Okay. Still, that has nothing to do with their employability.
Oh, yes, it does.
What you said is true. Okay, because that is what you are living with. It still does not take away from your talent and ability.
Right, which is why I'm saying they need to.
It only takes away from your time, but employability is based on talent, not on somebody's conditioning. Now you're supposed to know.
Okay, but accommodations with the limit with accommodations for the employment, is because of their limitations or there's certain hiccups that are hurdles induced by the special needs of whatever type. So some, like me, may not be able to actually work for another company, and others may be able to soar more with acknowledging their own limitations and self-accommodating by having their own business. But it's often those that are disabled, if they exceed their limitation, then whatever kind of episodes tend to act up. So it's a matter of both working and sticking to whatever's their maximum capacity without overdoing it, so that they induce themselves to have whatever kind of problems that are onset by their disadvantage.
I don't think they see it as problems. I think they know what they have. They know what is going on. They know what.
Most of us do know what we have.
Let me finish. I heard you. They know what's going on in their bodies. Okay. They will tell you that nothing stops them. Okay.
True, because that's a mindset.
Okay. That is a mindset. If there's a mindset that nothing will stop them, and that's backed up by federal law, which at this point is what, Emily, 31 years old?
Me?
No, Emily.
Oh.
She's mute. Okay. If you come back with a response like, well, I'm limited in the time that I can put into this job or this assignment or whatever, that is something that is not advisable to admit to people who are going to employ you for your extraordinary talents and abilities.
No, but that doesn't mean that meaning the people that are seeking the job or trying to start a company need to apply to jobs or accept jobs that go beyond what they're capable of doing.
Okay.
Well, I could never work full-time.
Okay.
So if I put myself in a full-time job,
right,
I'll end up fired because I'll be having my seizures, my PTSD episodes, my autistic episodes, and everything else like that, which will get me fired.
Right.
So yeah, I could get the job, but I can't keep it. So what's the point in getting it if I can't keep it?
So then you do not apply for it. And
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. To see what's their maximum ability within their limitations.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. You came around and took it from the other direction. I'm trying to tell you that you would never apply for those jobs where you know that your not able to, to keep the full-time job because you must have something part-time. Okay, or you must have something within time frame that you can handle it. That does not take away from your talent to do the job. That only tells you what to apply for.
Right, but I'm
Okay,
also trying to reach listeners to know, don't apply for what you know is something you cannot hold.
is that positive or negative to your audience?
Well, you want them, it's an awareness because we want them applying for jobs. We want them starting a company, but we don't want them to exceed their limits, meaning like someone like me who actually can't hold a full-time job to apply for one to then shortly be fired when you knew that you could not hold that capacity of the load.
Okay, here is a new friend of mine. His name is Zach Clayton. And Zach, we met on one of the HNPs this morning. This is Jennifer Whitaker. Jennifer is an excitingly talented young woman who is a good writer and has a good logical mind and also knows how to debate points. Okay, one of her talents.
Hi,
Okay,
Zach.
and I'm saying this with admiration. I'm not saying it to tease her. I'm serious. She is good. Okay, she thinks, and rightly so, that if someone has a limitation due to whatever alleged or real disability, okay, that they should not go after those jobs that they know that they cannot maintain, okay, over a long period of time. Am I correct so far?
You're good. You're doing
Okay,
good.
I'm good. Otherwise, she'd tell me I'm not. She'd get mad at me and tell me that I'm bothering her. At this point, I'm trying to tell her that the disability, however real, okay, does not take away from the actual talent that particular person has. Okay, and she's still giving me the point that they should know that they should not apply for those jobs because they will not be able to keep them because of their limitations. I'm trying to say that at that point, Dan, you are correct. Those people should know and be advised by counselors as qualified as yourself not to go after jobs where it might hurt them in the end. Is that correct?
You're doing good.
Okay. So we're basically agreeing. I think she's coming at the discussion from another point of view because she lives that life every single second of every single day. And I'm still good because she's not getting mad at me yet. All right. What I'm saying is that something like that should not tell somebody, hey, I can't do this job because of this, this, and this. It should come from a more positive aspect of viewpoint, whatever the words are, that I can
Positive
do
but
this job.
realistic.
Good. Be realistic and say, I could do this job. And if it's part-time, if you can accommodate the hours or on another level, like how about an independent contractor? And note that I will keep this amount of time and I will write it down and send in records to you. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're full-time or part-time, the terms will never apply. Okay. I used to do hiring. And I was around a lot younger than I am now when the ADA first came out. Okay. I was a counselor when it first came out. I don't care if they look like they have pot marks in their face or they have rings in their ears. It doesn't matter. I want them to know that they could do the job. And if they say, I can do this, Mark, then okay, if we can't hire you full-time, can you do 15 hours a week? And then we can discuss the matter sooner. This is counseling to tell them, hey, don't go after the full-time work if you cannot do it. Because I don't want to be put in a position where I'll have to fire you. So I would want you, Jennifer, to tell me in an interview, you know what, Mark, I can't really do this because, and I'm going to say, wait, I see your resume. You're extraordinarily talented. Now let's discuss what else is going on in your life. And you tell me. And I say, okay, well, what if we do 15 hours a week? Can you do that? And what
And
would
then
you
I
say?
would say, yes, I would take it on because that fits within my limitation, but it's still something that's some kind of role within society as far as employment or contract
Okay.
hire
Okay.
that
That's all I want to
puts
hear is the
myself
first part of
here.
your answer. That's all I want to hear. Okay. I think that's where people get hung up. And Zach is a counselor person to everybody, especially the veterans of foreign and home wars. Okay. If I'm still correct, I'm still not getting yelled at by my new friend Zach. Okay. Um, and I would like to say that if you interview for a job, which every job you go to, you would be hired because you're that good. I'm looking at you face to face through the screen. You are that good. You would be hired. Do not say you have limitations. Just say I can only accept a part-time position because I have certain responsibilities to myself and my family. So all you have to say. Don't tell them you have limitations unless they absolutely have to have it.
Well, sometimes you have to tell them because of certain accommodations you need that if you're, but it may not be appropriate to tell them until after you are offered the job. But
Bingo,
there are some degrees where you sometimes have to communicate at some point for them to accommodate.
bingo, bingo. That's it. And if not, take only independent contract positions until you build up enough stamina and skill to go into an interview and do exactly what you said just now. Okay?
I would like to, I'd like to add into here that in my personal belief, there should not ever be anybody who tells you what you can and cannot do.
That is
And
correct.
I think that you do yourself a disservice if you tell somebody that you cannot do it before you try. I understand that we all have our limitations. I deal with headaches 24 hours a day for the last 7 years. After my motorcycle, after I was run off the road on my motorcycle, I have a headache every hour of every day for the last 7 years. And, so I still do not let that get in the way of me trying things. But you do know what you're limited to do, but it is nobody else's right to tell you what you can and cannot do. And we are an amazing species of individual and personal abilities. We can do amazing things no matter who we are, no matter what we do. And nobody has that right to tell us that we cannot do it.
Well, but that's also a matter of, I would say it depends upon who are these other people. Like in my case with my autism, I have a skewed perception of reality. So as my mom said, often enough, I see myself able to do a lot more than I really can. And so
Okay.
y'all hear me again? Okay. So
Yeah.
my mom says often that as a part of my autism, I have a skewed perception of what I'm capable of doing. So that's why, in order to now be on disability, that I went through so many multiple jobs of being fired. And I was fired because I had epileptic seizures. I'd be like, in one case, I was in college and I was a manager of Pizza Hut. And when I had a seizure on the job, he then said, well, if you're going to be going unconscious, then I can't have you as a manager because that means somebody could steal something or somebody could assault another person or whatever could go wrong. And you wouldn't be able to do a thing about it because you wouldn't have even known that it happened. So that's where there's not equal opportunity. We still have, like what Mark was saying, the issues with the American with Disability Act. We still have problems with that. And in that case, my disability was why I was fired.
Okay.
And there's other cases where people like me, when we're this late in life, we've already tried a lot of different types of jobs. We already tried contract. We already tried, employment. We've tried full time. We've tried all these other things. And often later in life, we eventually figure out where do we need to limit ourselves, while at the same time, where's the talent that we can fulfill within society, like with my books and other things I do.
Okay. My thing is, and I think Zach is saying the same thing. You know now what you cannot do with work by way of time on the job. Okay, because it's
Well, and the type of job too.
a finite type of job. So what is that when other people come to professionals like Emily and Kurt and Zach, they're told that nobody has the right to tell you what you cannot do, which I agree 110%. However, what do you know? What do you know about yourself because of past experience that you cannot do? And you describe that to us. So I'm going to tell you, because hypothetically I'm your counselor, okay? Make believe. I'm going to say, well, you know what? I don't want you to tell them you have limitations. I want you to look for jobs that have maybe 15 hours a week max, okay? That there are only certain things that you can do to manage your work load, okay? And you must have enough awareness of yourself to know when you have to stop. And as long as you keep records of the time that you put into your job and you produce for me quality work, I don't really care if you stand on your head and bounce like a rubber ball, okay, to give me the work that I need, okay? But I just want you to get the work done. And if you satisfy those 5 conditions for me, because that's all I can talk about, and Zach has a different level of understanding because he's been through it. I only have a 20% hearing loss in both ears, and I need these little things in my ears to help me hear. And I'm ramped up to 100%. So what I'm saying is I don't go for jobs that I need to be an expert in hearing everything to write things down for governmental secrets. I'm not going to go out after those jobs. Okay, I'm not going to do that. And this is hereditary. This is not even an accident, Zach. This is hereditary. Okay, so I know what I will not do. Okay, I know what I will not apply for. So I have 45 years counseling and teaching. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you, can you handle a full-time job? A, that's not allowed. And B, my little behind would get bounced down in my position by the ADA if you have intelligent people like Zach listening in. Okay, so what I'm saying is that a hard of hearing person or a totally deaf person is not going to go after a job where she needs to hear. That's ridiculous.
But it's not ridiculous when it's one like my autism where it's neurological, so you cannot perceive reality the way it really is.
But you know about that by now. You have that experience. You have that
I do,
experience.
but
So
that happened after 20 years of trying various full-time jobs and so forth, because I could not perceive the fact that my mom and the rest of my family were making me, they're like, Jane, you cannot hold the load that a normal person can. With your autism, you don't even perceive information the same way that other people in reality do. You have your own perception of it that is skewed, and that's why you often have conflicts and other things like that I had before brain surgery.
Okay.
And it has to do with a neurological where my brain doesn't physically work the same way. So mine can't just be healed. It's one of those that will always be there. And so because of the skewed perception of reality, I could see myself doing things that I got fired so many times because I really could not perform to that level. So yes, I eventually learned, but do you know how hard it is to now go back and try to get a job if I wanted actual steady part-time employment when I've burnt so many bridges by not being able to understand that aspect of reality because of mine being a brain issue? I cannot perceive things the way reality is.
Jennifer, can I ask you a real quick question? I don't mean to belittle anybody or anything here, but is there a right answer to perceiving reality in a normal way? Everybody sees a reality in their own way. And
not the way I'm talking about that has to do with my autism and traumatic brain injuries and other
I understand that. I also deal with the TBI and I do know some of the after my accident, and I do know some of the challenges with that. And yeah, it is okay to find limitations. As I was saying before, I do believe it's 100% great to find limitations on your own if you've tried. You said that you've been fired from many jobs, which is sad in the fact that you had to find out this way on what you can and cannot do. But I commend you on trying different jobs. I think that's so important that there's so many people who don't try because they automatically eliminate themselves from a job. without even trying. And I commend you on trying to do something, because there's really no way to know if we can do anything unless we try. So I do commend you on trying the jobs. And I would also suggest never stop trying, because there's going to be a time when it's just going to surprise you, when all of a sudden you're doing something and it doesn't even click until a couple of years down the line. And you're like going, wow, I've done this and I've done it. And I haven't even thought about not being able to perform this.
Well, I mean, I've already achieved a lot of that. Like, as Mr. Mark and of course Emily and Kurt know, is that I have 6 national recognitions for being in the top 3% of the nation for various reasons. One was leadership, which was recognized when I was 17 years old. I was recognized with scholarly writing by the National Society of High School Scholars at age 18, that most don't have till they have a doctorate degree. I have a company, ACE My course I talk about, and Books and More by Jennifer A. Whitaker, that were recognized as top vendor in the state of Texas among its industry back in 2015. So I have a lot of top of the nation recognitions, and I've exceeded a lot. Have I been able to make a sustainable living as far as enough to not be on disability? No, but clearly I excel at the level of excellence in what I do.
Congratulations on
that. I still am on disability and still unable to make enough to support myself. So I'm dependent on my parents and my other family members. But I'm obviously very excellent at what I do, even though I can't carry a full-time load in order to make enough to be a livable wage.
So then if somebody can offer you a second income that will not affect your disability, would you do it?
If it wouldn't affect my disability, yeah, but that's not reality. Any income I earn, whether I'm self-employed or I'm employed, it still counts towards it.
I don't think so.
Creative writing, could you do a job that was like possibly a creative writing job?
Yes, I'm on the market for stuff like that. I have different people they're leads I'm trying to get in with, helping them write books. Or one person has some kind of mental health related facility where they're talking to me about writing for their blog, social media, and other stuff about various mental illnesses. So I told them about the certain ones I suffer of, and saying that I could write from the perspective of somebody who deals well with it, as far as my different coping skills and my methods of coping, my different ways I seek the help and obey the help and directions of a provider and so forth. And he hasn't got back with me with it being official, but I've got things like that are popping up. But I haven't found any that are considered actual part-time employment, meaning that it would be steady income. They're just projects. Like I just finished one with helping a guy with his dissertation.
Wow, that right there's an achievement on its own.
It is.
Yeah. Well, I've done it a lot of times. I've helped different people on dissertations, and that's where it basically is backed up by my recognition as a scholar when I was 18. And here you now rush forward 20 something years later, and I'm in my late 30s, and I'm still a scholarly writer. It's just that I have been since age 18. So I'm also an author, and I have my master's and bachelor's in accounting, so I do business consulting as well. But my business consulting doesn't give me opportunities as I'm wanting from it.
You get paid for all of those?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not trying to get in your business about your personal money. But what I'm saying is, it's like, if you get paid for those as Zach will agree, are responsible positions that people trust you to do that type of work. And you're able to, you're not doing it 35, 40 hours a week. You're doing it 10, 15, 20 hours a week, and it allows you to rest and relax and earn the money. So I will tell you what, and I will stop with you right now because I don't want to pressure you too much. We know each other. Emily has my information. Emily, give her my LinkedIn, whatever else you need to give. And if you want to earn a second income that could be steady, okay, get in contact with me.
Well, I am looking for some kind of part-time employment that relates to business consulting or writing, but what I have right now that are opportunities are actually what we call leads in business. because they want you to work, 1 hour a week on this and 2 hours a week on that. And then 4 weeks later, they decide they want a different writer to do it. So it's very inconsistent. Their clientele projects are not actual employment.
Okay. I will probably have something for you, but I need to talk to you not on this compassionate citizen project, which is fine. It gives us
Yeah.
to get to know each other. And I'm sure Zach is looking for ways, and Emily put the YouTube there, and I think Zach has he may have some information for you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got nonprofits that we work with, Jennifer, all over the place that are always looking for people who can help put feelings into words, because maybe they can put it into their own words, but they're words that other people may not be able to understand. So there are always opportunities. My son all the time was getting on my case because he would tell me, "Dad, you cannot talk like you, because people don't understand you, or you cannot write like you talk, because people cannot understand you." And he's right. I'm a biker in real life, and I tried to write like a biker, and you would read my stuff, and it was funny and stuff, but it didn't make a lot of sense. So that would be something that I think that, you could really, really, in the nonprofit world, I really think that you could have something that would be very, very useful and utilized.
Yes.
I mean, I'd be interested in talking to you too, Mr. Zach, if
Absolutely. And
if there's something I could do virtually, because part of the reason I'm on disability is they say that the fact that I cannot drive and that employers do not consider Uber as a reliable source of transportation, that I'm automatically unqualified for that simple reason with majority of jobs. And that's why I cannot actually get a legit job versus my self-employment that I've had for 10 or 11 years now.
Absolutely. The wonderful thing about what I'm talking about is you can get the gist of whatever somebody's wanting you to write, exactly how we're communicating now. You can get that, you can gather all the information that you need. And yeah, they may put a deadline on it, but as long as you tell them, look, I need this amount of time, that's going to be okay with them. And you're not going to have to meet them one-on-one. You're not going to have to do anything like that, because it is going to be it's going to be something that you're really good at. It's something that you're very, very well qualified for, and I think that you could do a fantastic job. You've already expressed your beautiful mind on this, because and your talents with writing, and I think that it's something that would be very attractive to a lot of nonprofits that are out there who have trouble communicating with the general public.
Okay.
Well, I Mr. Mark just gave me his information. Would you mind sharing yours, Mr. Zach?
Yes.
And then I can maybe shoot a text or something for us to schedule a one-on-one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And what you should do, Jennifer, if you have a computer, and I guess you do, because we're looking at each other.
Good way to draw a conclusion.
You should go to HNP Nonprofits. Okay. And/or talk to Alan Raisman. And I think Emily and/or Kurt has this information more than I do. If they could give it to you, it would be nice, since Emily is here.
Yes, I actually I have their backs on Wednesdays every week, or every other week right now, but next year will be every 3 weeks, for the purpose of allowing them to go to the nonprofit. So I run their podcast on those days for that reason.
Yeah. The company I work for has a nonprofit part to it, which is something I would have discussed with Zach earlier, but we will talk in private more when he gets in touch with me. With the nonprofit and the organization that I work for what I'll call a multi-level, it's by commission, but it's something that you can do on your own time. And it's something you can choose to do for 10 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and earn some extra money. And you don't have to report it legally to the IRS unless you make a certain amount per year. And by then you're making more money than disability could ever give you. But that's in the future. So I want to do that for you, and I want you to talk to Alan and tell him that I referred you to him, and he has a nonprofit for all of his life. I mean, that's been his profession all of his working life, seriously. And he is a very smart man. He is a very good man. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, you should go to H&P nonprofit. And you may not be able to do it now because it may have finished for the next 2 or 3 weeks. But come the first week of January, everything starts back brand new again. Once they program the computers to sign people up. And you can do that. Until then, there's absolutely nothing wrong with disability, absolutely nothing wrong with earning a little extra money in addition to that. Absolutely nothing.
Well, right. And I love being on this podcast. So if you know any podcast opportunities or anything else, like I'm on a TV show and other things like that involve my very extrovert personality, those are things I can do as well. Whether it's acting, it's just speaking, it's conversating.
Yeah. Our man in charge, our captain, our ambassador, our El Jefe is back with us. And Kurt Roskopf is in the house.
He is.
Beautiful mind of Kurt.
And he's quite a recent birthday boy again at a new birth. He will live to be 100 years old. He just passed the halfway point.
Great. Well, spread the rumor I'm at the halfway house. So
okay.
I join you there next week, my friend. I join you there next week. So
all right. Well, thanks for the spoiler alert, or I guess should have had a spoiler alert. You gave the spoiler. So, but you're going to have to wait your turn, Zach, because, we're in this program right now because we have an important agenda item that it's not your week, Zach. It's somebody else's week. We have somebody at the Happy Nation who is very illustrious, very renowned, very popular. And in the realm of craving attention, we have somebody who says, yeah, I'll take more attention. No problem at all. We can do big things, she says, Zach. So we have somebody who's going to be celebrating a birthday and says, you know what, if you guys want to all make it a birth week, I'm happy to start at the beginning of the weekend. Let's just keep the celebration going all week long. So we have somebody who is a co-moderator, co-host of Prosperity Pathways that we produce on Wednesdays, and is a big fan of what we do on Saturdays with the World of Ability, produced on Saturdays. And so we're going to be using all of our podcasting to make it a podcasting party for this individual. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a lot of noise here, excitement, because it's a party for none other than Jennifer A. Whitaker. Happy birthday. So, and the neat thing is I did not announce any dates. I didn't say what month it is or anything. So when this restreams out throughout eternity, it's going to feel like it's Jennifer A. Whitaker week every week of our lives.
Yeah, cheers to that.
That's a lot of birthdays. That really is. That's a lot of birthdays.
Yeah, so big kudos to Mama Whitaker. She really got the jackpot with Jennifer. So well done to the Whitaker. So kudos to whatever they're all doing over there on their side, family style. But at the H&P family, the Transform You family, the World of Ability family, we sincerely wish Jennifer A. Whitaker all the best this week. And we're going to make lots of noise. See, lucky thing is this is not the off week of H&P networking. This is the it's on week because it's got to last people a few weeks. We have that worldwide to kind of be that sustenance to keep us going. And now we're going to have a little Hawaiian flair by Mariana Waikiki with her, remember, aloha, mahalo, mahalo, thank you, So
Zach, we'll celebrate you next week.
Yeah, well, and he's going to celebrate all next year. He's even starting a podcast. He says.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aloha, Marianne. Welcome in. You missed a half hour of the most amazing Transform You World of Ability Kurt Roskoff show, Emily Gulmer, podcasting engineer. You should have seen Jennifer, Mark, and Zach. That it was like, it's like I got to come up with a special K award or something and give it to you. It was autopilot, Marianne. It was like I had my video off and Emily is sitting there like, host is requesting for you to start your video. And then I clicked that. All right, I'll start.
I should have started it. I should have started it earlier, but maybe not. Or I should have done that earlier, but maybe not.
Oh, look at this. Now we have Christina in here. It is a birth week party.
Yes. Aloha, Kurt. I'm bringing Christina, and I wanted to share that her and I have. Can you hear me?
This is who Morris brought up yesterday.
Okay, Christina here. All right, great. Well, aloha, everybody. I'm Marianne of Waikiki, and joining me is Christina. Sorry for the delay, but we just had a meeting for the Acts of Kindness series for grant writing. And thank you for Emily for having us here. So it sounds like you guys are having a Christmas party here or something going on. But Christina's got a lot of talents, and we would like to talk a little bit more about her early childhood development too, projects, etc. So welcome, Christina. I want to introduce yourself to Compassionate Citizens.
Well, hello, everyone. Your faces are familiar pretty much. Good to see you all. I was just kind of sharing with Marianne, on the HMP, I've really been talking about myself as a grant specialist, which I am. And I don't want to bombard with a lot of things at one time, but I am also a child development specialist. I have a degree in early care education, been in and I told her, she's made some statement, I don't remember, but I said, I pretty much try to stay in my lane. I'm not into engineering, so I'm not trying to focus on engineering. I would misguide you on that. But child development, early care education, and grant specialist, that's the lane I stay in. Work with children and parents and grandparents raising grandchildren and working with teen moms. So yes, like I said, and she thought, well, so she kind of invited me on here and she kind of pushed me on here. So just kind of about that child development, which is a whole nother aspect of my life and my interests and my I guess gifts and talents. So so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've done a lot with children. Like my work with first-time teen moms. That's a goal. We've hosted baby showers of first-time teen moms and dads. And also, one of my prayers was answered several years ago. I've always wanted to kind of work in the NIC unit. So in 2018, I started volunteering in the NIC unit in my community, which is St. Louis, Missouri. So I was going to the NIC unit as a volunteer so much. People thought I was working there, and the nurses and doctors, they say, hey, Christina, anytime you want to come and volunteer, you're welcome. So that's part of. I just want to share that.
Well, we appreciate you. And so when you were asking about, do you have a support team? Well, this is Kurt Roskoff and Emily, and everybody who joins us on a weekly basis is all part of the Acts of Kindness Service support team. So mahalo, Kurt, for letting us join you so late. And wow, they were having so much fun without us, Christina. I wonder what was going on there. We've been on HMP, Shifting to Happiness. What have you guys been doing?
We've been focusing on birth week.
Yeah, it's somebody's birthday this week, so that's why we're celebrating.
Okay.
Yeah, Jennifer co-host with us on Prosperity Pathways month and a half ago or whatever, several weeks ago. She did co-host with us here at Compassionate Citizens, and she's a big fan of what we do on Saturdays with World of Ability. And Saturday is Jennifer's birthday, and so she's being the famous person she is. She's got other things she's going to be doing on Saturday. So we're going to make some noise in the universe on Saturday for our friend Jennifer A. Whitaker. And we're going to use podcasts as podcasting parties during Whitaker week, week of Whitaker. Wow. WOW, week of Whitaker, right here at Transform You.
Wow, that's corny.
It's like our World of Women, dude.
Yeah, we have the World of Women podcast that is going to be running in 3 hours? So only 3 hours away. In 3 hours, we got Zeta.
Yep, 3 hours.
We haven't met Zeta yet with the Happy Neighborhood Project. She is the powerhouse. Marianne, you mentioned about leading ladies. Well, Marianne, you know all about the Zeta development, right?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on it. And I think Christina would be an awesome asset too to join the woman group. So yeah, we're shifting the happiness. That's right. And Christina, we were talking about leading ladies. So one of the leading ladies is my chicken. Her name is Chelsea, the courageous sign language chicken in the Folk Manus group, collection. And yeah, so she has be of service. So, and again, everybody, thank you for being of service, for doing all this, especially you, Emily, for doing this weekly podcast. You are always of service of doing this. And she created the HNP nonprofit. So another World of Women celebration. And we'll have a week of with Whitaker. Looking forward to it. Happy birthday, Jennifer. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday, indeed. What are you going
I'm
to do?
used to your... Go ahead, Miss Christina.
What are you going to do special for your birthday?
I'm having the first birthday party with all my friends that we've had since I was in 5th grade.
Wow. Okay.
So because of my autism and PTSD and a long list of other things, I was not able to really have much of a social circle before my brain surgery. And the 1-year anniversary is December 22nd.
Oh.
And so that's going to be the big day for me also, because that marks 1 year without epilepsy. Yeah. Whereas I've had it since I was 10 months old until that certain point that was almost a year ago. And because of that, a lot of the parents were not understanding when I was constantly going unconscious and maybe even be violent or otherwise acting out in these moments of unconsciousness. And so I had a very hard time since 5th grade of actually developing a social circle. In addition to maintaining clients and others I would have seizures in front of. So anyways, this is a big point in time that since I'm in surgery now, I suddenly have a social circle that actually wants to come to my parties, always call me and want to have time with me. And so we're going to have them all get together on on technically the day after, which is the 19th, Sunday the 19th. We're all going to go to a local main event. I don't know if y'all have heard that, but it's like a pool, got bowling and pool tables and a bar and a restaurant and all that stuff. And we're going to be at the bar area playing pool and socializing over drinks and snacks.
Congratulations, Jennifer, on your anniversary. That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, if anybody wants to chime in with Jennifer's stories, her name Whitaker looks like wit. It sounds like wit, or I shouldn't say sounds like, but when I look at her name, I think of Wit Taker. So let's see if she can take our wit and tell some Jennifer stories.
There's actually a last name Whit Taker, but it's spelled with 2 T's. Do you know that?
Yeah. So, but we're creative here. We don't need the second T to think about that.
Just that there's no room on the card there. Yeah, but Jennifer A. Whitaker, if you took out the A, you would have the 2 T's.
Yeah.
If I took out the A and I had the 2 T's, nobody would know which books are mine.
Yeah, there's like 100 Jennifer Whitakers in the world, so it's confusing.
It is. There's actually another author. If you go on places like Amazon and you look up Jennifer Whitaker, you'll find me with the A, and then you'll find a totally different other girl that has my same first and last name, but I'm the one with the A in the middle. And I have to do that because even just authors, there's more than one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I always emphasize the A, so they know
you
which.
Just got to tell people that you're such an A student, you made it your middle name.
Middle initial, at least, right?
Right.
A plus Whitaker.
Oh,
Keyword that would make A plus.
there you go. You should sneak that in there. Jennifer A plus Whitaker, you know. So Jennifer, we have an ask here at the World of Ability Podcast Network that when you're with these folks that you've known since you were, was it 5th grade? Or 5?
Well, I had a different social circle back in 5th grade, but I've newly this year, this 2021, since my operation December 22nd of 20, have now developed a social circle. And between my 5th grade birthday party and my birthday party in 2020, I was not able to get along with other people, so I did not have a social circle. So I did not have friends to invite, but I always had my family. And so my different cousins, their other halves, both of my sisters and their other halves and our kids, depending on what timeline, would all come, both of my parents. So we always had this as a family event, but this is going to be the first year that where I've actually had a social circle where they were friends that would actually come and join and actually wanted to celebrate me being here.
All right, so between 2 and 3 Central on Saturday, make sure to pull up the World of Ability podcast and show your social circle. Just kind of show them the display. Let them listen to how we're talking about you and say, just in case you didn't know, I'm kind of a big deal. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them
we can have some fun with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tune in when you're on.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Even if you're not, yeah. Tune in to any of our.
Yeah, Christina, we met with one of your friends yesterday, Morris Williams, and he was talking all about you. He was saying that we have to connect, you know, Emily and I and you. He was all about it, and here we have the universe saying, you know, Mary Ann's a little faster. We're not going to wait for Morris. We're going to have Mary Ann.
Yeah, Mary Ann just brings her in here.
We still love you, Morris, if you're listening. So we'll have to get back to Morris and let him know he had the right idea, and it happened.
Okay.
So Christina, is Mary Ann the only one you know here, or are you being reunited with any of the others?
I remember Emily and Mark.
And Zach, you remember Christina? Is that what you're saying?
Zach. Okay.
Zach?
Young music.
You know,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know Zach?
definitely Zach. I forget. Yeah, he wasn't on my screen. Yeah, definitely Zach.
All right. So Jennifer, this worked out good. You're the only one she doesn't know, and you got introduced as the birth week lady, you know?
Yeah, the birthday.
Everybody's got to know me.
Yep. We have to make sure, folks, you know, we're 6 allies of Jennifer A. Whitaker. We're going to have it blast out. People are going to forget that Edwin founded this thing. People are going to think that Jennifer A. Whitaker founded HMP. Let's make it happen this week. What do you think, folks? Huddle up.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Ready, break. You know, because Emily should enjoy that comment, because we were meeting with a gentleman out in the Philippines who, that's what he told me. He's like, Kurt, you're like the second most prominent person, you know, in HMP, you know, and then he pointed out like Edwin would be the first. And then, you know, it's like in terms of, you know, who's behind HMP, it's like there's Edwin and then there's Kurt. Right, Emily? Isn't that about what he said?
It's something more along those lines, yeah.
She's not too enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable being in that position, Jennifer. So I want you to take over. We got 5 days to make it happen. I think we can do this.
All right, then.
All righty. See? Jennifer's ready. Let's do it. So yeah, we'll blow up LinkedIn. We'll blow up Facebook, and it'll be like some of these other guys like Zuckerberg and some of these other names out there. People are going to forget about all them, and we're going to get 1 million hits with Jennifer A. Whitaker this week from HMP. So
awesome. That'll be awesome.
So Mary Ann, what else do you have to report? you're journeying and preparing, and you got all sorts of things you're up to in the next month and few months.
No, actually, Kurt, I fly out as we speak next week, winter solstice. I'll be on an airplane to San Diego. So leave me aloha. And I
Leave me aloha, good one.
That's right. Well, what I am doing, Kurt, is I had a very productive morning. Thank you, HMP. I met with Moxie, who I met in HMP Talent. Moxie and I talked about her going into audio to record my second 2 books and with the soundtrack to upload to ACX. My Fiverr graphic designer just sent me the 3rd book cover to upload to ACX. And Christina and I talked about grant writing for the Acts of Kindness series, and I introduced her to my Acts of Kindness support team. So how cool is that? And I'm shifting the happiness over because I became a Legal Shield person, and the Honolulu attorneys are amazing. So they sent me this questionnaire. It's a will, and I am going to be reviewing it. So my friend, I asked, I go, what would you like, or what do you want? And he goes, oh, I don't want your money. I want your brain cells. I'm trying to figure that one out, how we're going to freeze my brain cells so he can use them. So is there anything
cryogenics,
Mr. Ambassador? So because because Christina, these puppets are going to be well off in the future. So we need to set them up right in the grant so that they can continue to have those future funding at my will to reproduce any types of productions that I create at this time and now. All right. Anything, Kurt? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
So Marianne, just remember, my name is spelled K-U-R-T. My middle name is William, W-I-L-L-I-A-M.
And it's roast cough, right? As in roasting a pig cough? Roast cough.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Zach loved that one. But I was saying, Marianne.
Christina, we roasted him for his birthday. It was Kurt Roastkoff's birthday, not Roastkoff.
I'm not going to tell you all when my birthday is then.
We'll find out.
All right. Well, anyway, was there anything, Kurt? Because we're on camera. Speak now. Okay, Jim. Somebody wants my brain cells.
Yeah, well, that's why I spelled out my name so succinctly, because make that legal document your will, and that's how you put my name in there.
Okay, you're going to take care of the Acts of Kindness series, my wishes. Correct?
That's right. You're going to
All right, you heard that, Christina. See, any future grant funds that we will receive will go to the Acts of Kindness team, shifting the happiness. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Wow.
But yeah, no, my bags are pretty much packed. Passport, renewing our driver's license, and eye doctor, chiropractor, and I set on a flight, leaving on a jet plane on winter solstice day, which is the beginning of winter and the beginning of my book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, arriving in San Diego. The 49-foot Transpac sailboat has been there for over about, I'd say 6 months, but he's been traveling for a year and a half. And he's filling out the paperwork so us to enter Mexico. And Leon McLaughlin from Clean Water Foundation is working with Suzanne Sims, my writer, to get filters into the medical clinic that she resides in for the winter. So we're still busy at this end of the year here, and then we'll be ready to set sail. So anchors away. And leave me aloha in 2022, because I got a lot of creativity, and I'm sure Christina are going to be doing a lot of writing and being in contact. So what we can do to get some grant funding for 2022 with the Acts of Kindness series. So thank you for bringing us all together here. Mahalo.
Good.
Mahalo.
Good.
So I want to segue right away. We had a great segue with her bags are packed, because that actually is the name of an exciting new podcast. So Zach Clayton, you want to tell me how you have your bags packed for a podcast?
I have my show packed, and we're starting it on January 5th at 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I just learned this. That means it's going to be 2 p.m. Hawaii time, I believe.
That's correct.
I'll be in San Diego. I'll be in San Diego Pacific time.
Okay,
So
so
it's
4 p.m.
It's
Yep,
4
4 p.m. So And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be introducing some of the smaller and medium nonprofits throughout the country. We invite them to come and join us and tell people exactly what they do, why they started, and just tell people about them. Let them know that they're out there. Let them know that, hey, we're here to work for you. And then we're going to be introducing some of my wonderful partners who raise money for these nonprofits. Just by simply letting people shop with them, they're going to donate to a cause. And so we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're going to, and I got to get this right, we're going to have the whacked session, which is where we get to introduce upcoming events of the week. And it's going to be a weekly podcast, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. The only problem is that it's also going to be recorded for on video. So that means people have to look at me too. So, but I do this
that's
because
so bad. You make it out to be so horrible.
Darn.
I know, right?
I do this because I really think that I do this because I really think that people need to see me. Oh, look at that! I've been cut off. So
You do that to yourself, and you know that.
Just
No, it
showing
wasn't
you that
me.
when you're in a show, the producer has some capabilities, Zach, if the audience needs some help.
So there you go. If anybody gets tired of looking at me, all they got to do is tell Emily, cut.
Yep. That's right. He's got the
Hey, I
power.
did have a question. Jennifer, what are the title of your books?
One is called Emotional Roller Coaster Young Adulthood. It's a collection of poetry. Another is called Dealing with Autism, and it's about how I overcame it, which is why I'm able to express emotions, understand people, get along with others, and so forth, versus what we were just talking about. That's my history. My third book that's currently out is called How Do I Know God is Real? And that's where I used my 51 hours of studying the Bible at Liberty University. That was a part of my bachelor's degree. And my youth as a preacher's kid. And the scripture I know from all of those combined with using my epilepsy and autism to prove that God is real. The Christian God is truth.
Well, Jennifer, I would love to have you on as one of my guests sometime after you and I meet. I'll get you hooked up to where you can join my podcast as well, because I would love for people to get to meet you and introduce you to some people who could possibly use your services and your writing skills.
As Kurt always says, to make you more famous than you already are.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jennifer A. Whitaker. So now we're at that moment that we call the minute to win it moment. So we give one of the guests here in the podcast 1 minute. And Christina, we want a little bit of your reaction coming in here for the first time ever. What did you think? And any last takeaways you want to give for our audience? Take it away, Christina.
Oh my goodness, really? Such a very energetic group, I might say. I almost told Marianne, oh no, because I was falling asleep. I said, this must be my Zoom day. Because the third Zoom I've been on. So, but I appreciate the invite, and just so fortunate to be with all of you, the gifts and talents, And I will say this, God does not make mistakes, only man.
Amen.
That's all I'm going to leave it right, put a period behind it. Leave it
That's
just
it.
like that.
That's it.
Christina, you're welcome to join us anytime on
All
any
right.
of our podcasts.
Thank you.
And mahalo, Marianne, for bringing her to us and bringing her in here. And you had your hands up, so just checking in. Did you have another thought before we close?
Oh, I was just waving my hands in the air. This is a deaf sign language clap, and I'm just so happy to be here with the Acts of Kindness service team. And Zach, just want to let you know, all classroom teachers in the United States of America can get copies of the Acts of Kindness series. They just need to go on donorschoose.org and request them. So I'd love to be on your podcast. You can follow me as I sail away and Sailing for Clean Water Foundation. So
Marianne, you're always going to be welcome. We're going to love to have you on sometime, and especially since rumor has it you're going to be trying to fit a polar bear into one of these books.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
They don't have any polar bears in Hawaii, though.
No, but we
That's
did
why
have
she
a
wants to
little
read
outfit,
about it.
But they
so
do in
polar
San
bears are
Diego.
skating on thin ice, so.
Yep.
Ideas are cranking, and they do have a mini puppet polar bear too. So, yep, I got lots of creativity and ideas, and I'm gonna be sitting in my own stateroom, sailing away. So
All
with my
right.
own brain cells. Okay. So again, if you want to get in the will for my brain cells, let me know.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that's on recording now. That's on recording now.
we
So
have the evidence.
to hold you to it.
Yep. So we're going to give everybody's brain cells a little bit of rest. We're going to pass it over to Emily Gomer. We're going to sail away. So Emily Gomer, take it away. We're at closing.
I want to thank everybody for everybody who joined us on here today, everybody who tuned in. And thank you to Marcus Hart and Transforming Media for allowing us to have this podcast on their platform. And to thank everybody for everything they're doing on our social media pages. And Kurt, do you have any last? And we encourage everybody to join us next week, same time, same place. But Kurt, do you have any last words of wisdom?
Yes, I do. I always like to invite people that if with anything going on, anybody want to be a part of this big celebration this week for Jennifer A. Whitaker, or anything dealing with what we brought out today at this podcast, feel free to email me, Kurt at thedisabilitychannel.us. That's Kurt with a K, URT at thedisabilitychannel.us. And a big thanks for all of the reactions, comments, and sharing and participation all together with our Facebook and YouTube and all of our live streaming and everything that builds up our numbers over at the syndication with Transform You Media Network. Check out the blog, folks, by Transform You Media Network. You can find that at transformulivenetwork.blogspot.com. Again, that's Transform You, the letter U, livenetwork.blogspot.com. So with that, we're going to let you go, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Keep with us, folks. We love to have you here. Bye for now.
Everybody.